night at Denver Park. I think they're all leaving after this. So, do you think should I have like a fork poised so that it looks like this is real food? When you guys think about the campaign or politics, what are things that you'd like people to be talking about that you don't hear?
Oh, for me personally, Veterans Administration is a big issue. My dad's a disabled veteran.
Oh, yes.
He was telling me that it's like discretionary spending for the VA.
Well, each year Congress has to reappropriate the money,
right.
And every single year the VA comes in and asks for less money than they need.
Yeah.
And we've had to actually force the VA to take more money, which is unheard of in a federal agency.
Yeah.
But it's a huge problem, and a lot of vets are really trying to figure out why we don't make that commitment. My attitude is, if you've signed them all up and you've sent them over there, when they come back, they shouldn't have to be begging for the benefits that were promised them. So, explain to me, Margaret, I wasn't clear on. So he was already deployed. He hasn't been there for a full year.
Has not been over there for a year.
And so then they made a decision that they wanted him to come back to do what?
They gave him a school date. He got promoted to warrant officer. Mm-hmm. So they have to go to training, Fort Workers, and then at Fort Lee, Virginia. So they pulled him back.
So he's going to get trained. Now, does that mean that he gets redeployed after the training?
We don't know. There's a strong possibility if the war is not over.
Right. According to my plan, we're pulling combat troops out by that time.
I hope so.
But I think that it's interesting. You're starting to see some cracks on the Republican side. The majority of the Senate passed a bill to set a timetable. We just need them to start recognizing that this is not working, and they're starting to do it. Because what is true is that even if we wanted to pull out all the troops right now, to do it safely, you've got to. It takes. It's not going to be simple. It'll be messy, but I think it's the best of a bad situation in terms of what.
So you said it's the bad, it's worse. We have no choice now. There's no easy way out of here. We're stuck.
So I was interested, since you're working with food pantries. Most of the people older, younger.
What we're seeing is, we are seeing the middle class, the working class. That you would, you would think they don't need to go to a food pantry. And even before I got there, my assumption was, the homeless,
right.
People who have no income, maybe those on public assistance. It's not that anymore. Yes, that's a big chunk of it. But you go and you see cars parked. They're waiting in their cars. The latest news is that it's actually the working people now. It's, not to put aside those that are homeless and don't have a job or whatnot, but it's scary when you have somebody who's working and can't even buy food.
Right.
I'm one of those that my mom actually now 20 odd years later, I find out that that's where she brought the food from. You think my mom bringing food home. Hey,
right.
That's what mothers do, right?
Right.
But life is weird, and it comes out that she actually took food from a food pantry, and at that time she was working.
Right.
So you put things together. It's like it's like, where are we going really? It's like is there an end to it? What next time is those who are making big bucks are going to end up in the food pantries as well?
Right.
And it's scary. It's very scary. And it's sad.
Christine, what are you doing in terms of managing the cost of college?
I actually have my tuition completely paid for. My mandatory fees that are covered by HOPE are completely paid for, and I get a stipend for $150 for books every semester. So,
this is pretty good. So what's this arrangement?
It's the HOPE program. It's paid for by, I guess, Lotto South by now.
Oh.
So, but basically, if you have a B average in college.
Right. Georgia set this up when they instituted the lottery. Mm-hmm. So it's working for you. That's good.
Pretty much so, and it pays for pre-K programs. So
right.
It's been all around a really nice program.
Well, what they did that was really smart in Georgia was when they passed the lottery, they dedicated the money up front, and they basically set up sort of a fund that couldn't be used for anything else except these two things.
Right.
What they did in Illinois was they sold the lottery as this is going to pay for education. Everybody got all into it. And so they passed the lottery, and the money does go into education, but what they did was they replaced all the money that had been going into education They just took that out and put the lottery money in there, and so there was no net increase in terms of the amount of education spending. But Georgia did it in a smart way. Well, it's good to know that's worked well for you. Good thing you got that B average.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, that's great. So, and Margaret, tell me about your work.
I'm a software engineer. It's very stressful. But
What makes it stressful?
well, my workday never ends.
Because you can always take it home.
I take it home most every day.
Oh.
Most every day.
Somebody can just email you. Here's a whole bunch of work.
Have you seen the show on Comedy Central, Little Bush or Little Bush?
I've heard about it, but I haven't actually seen it. It's like little. It's like little rascals or something, except they're all.
They actually had an interesting one where you cameo, as you always do, I guess. But the Little Bush's gang could follow Little Bush because he was following Tony Blair, and they were infatuated with each other. It's very strange. But so they decided to follow you blindly, and you're building a house for a single mother, and they're like, "So are we doing this for extortion?" And you're like, "No, we're building a house for a single mother." And they're like, "Okay. Are we going to put a hit out on somebody?" They're trying to figure out what the scam was, and you leave for a few minutes, you come back, the building's in flames, and they're like, "We figured it out. You're doing it for the insurance."
Little Bush. That's funny. Some of these. I went on YouTube once. I don't go up on real often, but I went on YouTube once just to see what was being sort of generated on YouTube under my name. And there were actually some really clever sort of political, some political ads. I mean, some of them were negative. You definitely don't take that kind of stuff too seriously, because it's interesting being in the public eye like that. And suddenly, Jay Leno's making a joke about you. There's some cartoon, and your ears are all huge. And after a while, you feel sort of like that's just somebody else. It's not. Michelle always jokes about this. She says, I see this guy on TV, Barack Obama. He seems like a really interesting guy. But he doesn't always match up with the guy who's sitting next to me on the couch, or snoring in bed, or she has a whole different perspective. So, and Eiley, are you married?
Not yet. My girlfriend's waiting for me to propose.
Well, what was the holdup?
I'm waiting for her to propose.
I don't know. I don't feel about that. But you are the one who's going to have to buy the ring.
I was just telling him.
I'm just waiting for that moment. I'm just waiting for that moment.
There's not going to be much dispute about that.
No.
Family is wonderful. It is wonderful. That's the hardest thing about this campaign. Because this weekend I had off, which is I hadn't had 2 days in a row off in a really long time, and we went out bike riding, and we had bought new bikes, and my 9-year-old was on a real adult bike for the first time. Not like one of the small ones with tassels, but this was like the real girl, serious girl bike, and then we got this sort of like a trailer bike, on the back for my 6-year-old. So although she didn't pedal much,
She just sat there.
Yeah, exactly. But and we went along the Chicago lakefront, and it was just beautiful. It was just perfect, and when you're doing stuff like that, sometimes you sort of think, man, this is a lot to give up.
How does your family feel about it?
I'm not sure they're missing me as much as I miss them. I can't. They're adjusting really well. The best decision we made was not to move to Washington.
Really?
Because even though it was sort of a little harder for me when I'm here in session, for them, it wasn't much of a transition, right? I mean, my daughters are going to the same school, they've got the same friends, so everything feels normal. They're doing this, going the same dance classes, and everything's just kind of the same soccer games.
My dad, would you up riding?
Uh-oh.
He
No.
That's all on the website.
I think, did we just have
Careful,
to
don't
pay
cut
for that?
yourself.